All right, good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. It is another episode of the Corporate Life Show with McAden. And tonight, I'm so excited we'll be doing this because, of course, we always bring topics that speak to your need as a professional or a business person out there. And tonight is no exception. As usual, we always have to what? Introduce our guest. But before then, tonight, we will be looking at how you connect with us. Please, if you're following us, if you are watching us right now, drop a comment in the comment section and we'll get to know you that you're actually following us on the show tonight. This is the Corporate Life Show with McAden. This takes place every Friday evening at 7 p.m. where we come to discuss important topic. And as usual, I am your host. Adeniyi Macarthy is my name. You can call me McAden. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. And tonight we'll be discussing a very, very important topic. Guess what we're discussing? Harnessing the power of public speaking for job interviews. And I want to add to it, not only for job interviews, because whether you like it or not, as a business person, you have to go for pitching. Maybe you have a grant you are pursuing, you have to pitch your what business idea to be able to win that grant in the future. So you may also ask questions because we'll be giving room for our audience to ask questions on the show tonight because we want you to get the best out of tonight's conversation. And tonight's conversation will not be done just by myself alone. I have a guest in the house tonight who will be we'll be taking care of all your questions as it may border on you. As it may concern the topic of our consideration tonight. So please feel free to join us and drop your comment. We'll be so excited. To have you to have your issue tweeted on the conversation at the Corporate Life Show tonight. And as I said earlier on, I am not the only one. I'm not the only one in the studio tonight. I have someone so special, someone so fantastic, someone so daring, someone so passionate about what we are talking about tonight. And she has been here in the studio with us, trying to prepare her for what? For the conversation tonight. And I'm sure you are also excited to what? You want to meet her. And I want you also to meet her. And we are so excited that we'll be meeting her eventually all together on the show tonight. And that is Victoria Erhahi, and she'll be discussing tonight the topic and essing the power of public speaking for job interview. And if you are a business owner, you may also use this knowledge to what? To tackle issues around grant pitching for grant purpose. Victoria is a results-driven HR professional with over 8 years of comprehensive experience in end-to-end HR function. As a certified consultant, she brings a wealth of expertise in developing and implementing strategic initiative to drive organizational growth. And tonight, she has proven and she has demonstrated exceptional leadership in guiding organizations and clients through the in intricacies of HR management. A strategic approach encompasses the entire HR spectrum from talent acquisition and employee development to performance management and organizational culture enhancement. And she has consistently excelled in deploying innovative strategies that contribute to the growth of client organization. And please do help me, join me. Welcome to the studio, Victoria Erhahi, who will be speaking to us tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you, Victoria, for joining us tonight. How do you feel?
The Corporate Life Show. I'm delighted.
All right, I like that. I'm delighted. And that delightment, we want it to be transferred from your hand to my hand and to the hand of our audience that'll be watching us tonight. Please If you are watching us, please drop a comment in the comment section. That is the only way we can get to see you, that you are joining us live and direct on tonight's conversation. And as usual, please take note that we are live on Facebook, we are live on YouTube, we're live also on the professional platform. Guess where? Which platform is that? On LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, that is the professional platform. And tonight's conversation is gonna be a powerful one, and you don't want to miss it. And as you will not be missing this conversation, you will do yourself a favor by helping your friend. Why did I say that? By helping a friend get this knowledge tonight. And how do you do that? Share the invitation link as you have it. Share it, invite your friends so that they can join. Because if you're scaling through those interview tables, your friend also needs to scale through those interview tables. Otherwise, he or she may become a burden on you, and that is why we are developing. I mean, that's why we are having this conversation tonight on the show with Victoria Erhahi. And thank you very much. We'll be going straight to the conversation in few seconds. We'll take a few minutes break, and then when we return, we'll go into the conversation proper. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us tonight on the show. This is the Corporate Life Show with McAden. As usual, I'm your host. My name is Adeniyi Macarthy, and I said that earlier. You can call me McAden. I'll be your host for tonight's conversation, and I want you to, stay tuned to the end. And as I said earlier, invite your friends to join us in the conversation tonight. We're streaming live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Facebook, on YouTube, and on LinkedIn. So please join us throughout the conversation tonight because it promises to be an educative one. And my guest is in the studio, Victoria Erhahi. Will be discussing this topic with us tonight. And let's go straight to the conversation. How do you feel, Victoria Erhahi? I'm sure you are ready to move us back to back. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Before we go on into the conversation, someone saw the publicity flyer on one of our team members' status on WhatsApp, and she said, "Wow, she's good, oh, she's good, oh." I'm like, "Okay, if she's good, then let's have this good transfer to everyone." And I'm sure that vibe, that energy is what we're going to have in the conversation tonight. And I'm so excited to be having you. In fact,
Same
I can't wait.
here.
I can't wait to go into the conversation with you because yes, of course, we must start the conversation. I'm being prompted that time is against anything that is good, but then this time must hold on for us tonight so that we can enjoy the conversation. So, question one for you: what are some effective ways to engage and connect with your interview during a job interview?
Okay. Um, what are some effective ways to connect with an interviewer, right?
Yeah,
Um, during a job interview. During the interview, we're talking about speaking. Public speaking is, yeah, speak confidently, in public space, make all the moves with your body, with your hands. And so if you have an interview, I am an HR professional for almost a decade. We look out for, it's almost like you're telling a story. They're asking you, oh, tell us about yourself, tell us about your career, tell us about who you. We need to see that enthusiasm in you. When someone has a wonderful story, how they behave is very excited, face with eye contact. You want to make impression. You want a effective interview with an interviewer. Somebody said, I have the opportunity to be at an interview. I'm being, you can see the smile all over me. I'm not looking detached. I know the conversation. loving my story. Oh, I don't know, for about a decade, I have walked across or span across several industries that the retail industry downstream, and I'm currently in the consulting space. My job, we need to see that excitement. You smile. Of course, we're not expecting you to, and we expect that to be moderate. So if you're going to be having an effective interview with an interviewer, you need to come with a wonderful story, a story that people want to listen, a story that you're passionate about. And of course, that comes with making the necessary items. You cannot be passionate, or you're looking down, or you're flipping your hair for the ladies, or as a man, you're always touching your coat, you're touching your tie. You need to make me see that your story is good. Where I want to build trust, so you need to come off being confident, loving your own story, and then you want to share that story. You can make a very good first impression when having an interview with an interviewer.
Wow, 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 wow. So that means what the person said yesterday night about you is exactly what we are getting. Okay, we're just starting, and the energy is already there. The fire is already burning. I just hope you have your fireproof. Me, I'm wearing. I know I'm beginning. I don't know why my is sensing it. I should put on a jacket because the fire is going to come, and
Please.
you need to what to be prepared for the fire as it comes. So I'm ready, and I hope the audience too are ready because it's going to be a fire for fire. You must get it right on your interview table, and that is the reason why we're having this conversation tonight. Thank you very much for that response. Thank you very much. In fact, I don't have anything to add. Rather, I'll be learning. I'll be learning. Tonight, I want to learn so that I can do well on an interview table. Thank you very much. Question two, quickly. Question two, how can one use storytelling? You mentioned it earlier on. So how do we actually use storytelling techniques to showcase skill, to showcase skills and experiences in compelling ways to what get the attention of our interviewer?
Okay, thank you very much. Just like I mentioned earlier, if you want to have a very impression or an effective interview, you need to come as if you're telling a passionate story. You're not telling a sad story. You want to tell people how you started your journey, what your achievements are, what you've been able to do, your weakness. Sorry, let's start with your strength. Like your SWOT analysis, your strength, the projects you have handled. You want to highlight the good part. Starting off from telling how you started small. So it is always the STAR method is start off with a situation. What
Mhm.
it could mean have given an instruction to do. Situation could mean, a client reached out to you that was having maybe a terrible network issue, and you work with maybe any of the telecom providers, and you solve their network issue. It could be that, maybe you were handling a part of a project, you're doing a report. It's a situation, something happened, and then what tasks were we told to do? I am to be recruiting for XXXY company, and I'm to be recruiting an HR business partner. It's a task I've been told to do. I want. Okay, how do you now recruit an HR business partner? Action. You need to highlight what steps use, what steps did I take to, carry out my task in that situation for results. Okay, I had a situation at hand. A situation was to recruit an HR business partner. That's the task. The action I used was, okay, I posted vacancy online. I screened CVs. I had a first phase interview. I had a second phase interview. I was able to prepare an assessment. I sent to the clients, and then I was able to streamline it and get two quality that was sent to results. So if you're going to be telling me about your interview, what techniques you're to use, it is always advisable to use this STAR method. Something easy. And another thing is using specific, come tell us vague story, just like told to do a recruitment, and at the end of the day I was able to do the recruitment. It's a vague story. What kind of recruitment were you doing? Was it an entry level role? Was it a mid-level role? Was it a C-level role? Was it, you need to tell us what exactly were you doing. So the STAR method helps you so that your information are not vague. You need to highlight your key achievement. Okay, for example, I have been able to recruit for ABC and ABC company. I've been able to recruit at least 6 C-level roles. For anybody who's doing recruitment, for you to be able to achieve 6 C-level roles within a short or short higher time, it's an achievement. We know what it means to hire C-level. C-level are the executive of organization. So if you're going to be highlighting that, of course, somebody will know that you know what you're doing. What are those things you have done? What are those projects you have done? At the end of the day, what was your start process? What was your mid process? What was your end result? Or at the end of the day, we were able to, submit the report, finish the project before deadline. It's an achievement. So you need to give specific examples that would help your interviewer understand what you're saying. Just like I mentioned earlier, you're not giving us vague answers. You need to be specific. We need to know, oh, there was a time a customer reached out to me, and I was not the one who actually handled this. I was not the one who actually deployed the service to the customer or to the client, as the case may be. But the customer reached out to me and got on it. I got what the information was and how I could resolve it, because the person who handled it at first was not around. And the client was so impressed with how I handled communication skill, my empathy. And at the end of the day, I was able to resolve. The client was not the one that deployed the product for the client at the beginning. Specific. It showed it's giving Victoria, regardless of she was the one, she has problem solving skills, and that is one every potential interviewer or recruiter is looking for. Make your story relevant to the role. Hiring for a HR role, and you're telling me oil and gas. You're telling me about drilling. You're telling me about maybe operations in a retail space. You have to make it relevant to the role. If you're coming in for an HR role, whatever achievement, I was able to achieve 100 candidates within 2 months for a particular client in phases of 3, phase 1, month 1, phase 2, month 2, phase 3, month 3. Make it relevant to your users that are relevant to the role. For me, as now, I am using hiring and selection. I am using my terms so that they know that I understand what I'm doing. Of course, you don't want to come off as just using corporate jargon, but for an experienced hire, we want to expect that, okay, you've been in the corporate for a certain period of time and you understand what the industry is stating. They are asking me, what are the value chains of human resource? I'm talking about recruitment. I'm talking about L&D, comp and ben. Anybody who is in HR, once I mention comp and ben, they know I'm talking about compensation benefits. Once I mentioned Ellen about learning and development. So it makes it easier for your interviewer to know that this person knows what they are doing. And another thing you want to do is keep it concise and engaging. Too many long stories can make your interviewer or your recruiter tired. Sometimes you could now get to a point of, what is he or she trying to prove? What's our own? So ensure to keep it concise, ensure to keep it engaging. Thank you.
Wow. That is powerful. That is powerful. I love the part where you simplified it to just star situation. I think I missed out on the aspect of the T. Can you just quickly remind me? Star situation.
Sorry.
The word star situation.
Okay, situation, task, action, and result.
situation, task, action, and results. Thank you very much. That simplifies the conversation. How do you, and that part where you mentioned you are interviewing someone for HR and the person is talking about the oil and gas. I'm wondering how did they correlate? Maybe the person is talking about oil and gas at home. It is well. All right. Well, to keep the story short, let's just focus on the question because we have limited time. We have limited time for the conversation tonight, and I thank you those that are joining us already. Please invite your friends, let them join us on the conversation. It matters a lot for everyone to be here, and you'll be able to scale through job interviews whatsoever. So thank you very much. Interesting conversation so far. Then the question three says, "What are some key body language?" Because if you know how to tell the story, you must also put a gesture to what to explain for that. So, what are some key body language and non-verbal cues to convey uh, confidence and enthusiasm during an interview?
Okay. So there are some body language, there are some non-verbal and verbal cues that one need to, ensure they are wary of. Sometimes you can get too excited and you genuflect too much. That's the use of your hands, the use of your legs too much. So you want to keep it simple. Sorry, excuse me. You want to keep it simple, and
Oh, so sorry, we lost our guest there. We lost our guest, and she will be back. She will be back, and I'm sure that you've been learning a lot of things just from the few questions that have been asked. Please drop a comment in the comment section if you're joining us right now. Then that is the only way we can say hello back to you. So let me quickly go back to the audience point of view. Let's see what audience are saying. I can see Justina Oyedeji. I can see Gillian Ogochukwu Ogabu. Okay, thank you very much. You guys are saying good evening, and it's a pleasure having being here. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you for being here. Please, those that have joined us, I know some we have more people joining us. Please drop a comment in the comment section. That's the only way we can know if you are here. Thank you very much. Our guest is back. Thank you. So you can carry on.
Okay, thank you very much. So I was saying that with regards to body language, there are some, verbal and non-verbal cues that come from your body language. I tell people, in as much as your body don't talk, but it speaks a lot. I could tell from your body language if you're telling me a yes when you're saying a no. So you want to maintain a good posture. You're not moving your head too much. You're not moving your hands too much. Concise. He does it. Simple, because you're trying to prove a point to the recruiter. You're not moving your head too much. It could mean aggression, so you want to keep your gesture natural, simple. You don't want to fake it. I've been in an interview where people are trying to fake an accent. So because they are trying to fake an accent, it has to go with the body. So they are always, and I'm looking at them. I'm like, come off it. What is this?
I don't understand.
So
Are you
you need
interviewing them for English language tests?
we're not interviewing them, but we've seen a lot. People who want to
Oh,
prove that, oh, I can speak phonetics, I have a British accent. We've
mm,
seen a lot. So, and they
mm,
want, when they are using such words or tone or intonation, it goes with a certain body language. So
mm.
you're looking at them like, what exactly is going on here? So one of the good ways to, have it good in an interview is maintain good body posture. It comes natural. You're you're not moving your leg unnecessarily. You're not always moving your body. For the ladies flipping their hairs, I've been in an interview where the lady kept flipping her hair. I had to tell her that, do you want to remove your wig or something, because that's distracting. Like in 5 minutes you're flipping your hair back like 7 times,
Mm,
so it can be
mm.
tiring. I don't know whether you're trying to show me how expensive your wig is or what. So I want to
Wow.
say, come on, lady. Can you stop distracting me with that thing that you're doing? For some, I had an interview for a digital marketer, for every question he answers, he will lick his 7 times.
Mm.
Yes. I had
No,
to
no, no,
call his
no.
attention to it that
It needs to grease the engine. That's the engine oil.
so I had to call his attention to it that, do you realize that this is not a good body language?
Mm,
He will now say, I said, I don't understand where this young man is driving at. I would correct him, he would do it again. So I just had to make the interview very brief. Because you can
mm,
on stage, you're not an artist, you're not your secular artist, you're not trying to perform. He would rub his
mm,
hands and do, this thing that these big boys, I don't know what they call it, they would do it, and you're not, I'm like, come off it. This is a
mm,
digital marketing interview. I don't need all
mm,
these shenanigans. And
mm,
then, not to show that you understand. There are sometimes as you're talking, and I'm doing that too, I'm saying yes, and my head is also following suit. It's not
yeah.
excessive, but it's just yes. An interview is asking you question. You're numb. Your eye is just looking at them as if you're ready to fight. Your lips is not moving. Your head is not moving. It will convey a wrong message. Smile
Okay.
to convey warmth and positivity.
Mm,
See, I have had it smooth where during the days where I had to interview. As the interviewer is talking, I just smile a bit, and they're like, you have a warm personality. And I'm like, thank you
mhm,
very much, sir. And it doses off every tension. And it shows
mm,
that you're a teachable person. So don't come into an interview like you're about to go and fight war, like it's a do or die
mm,
affair. So these cues and body language will help any person. And these are also things we advise people in public speaking. You want to engage your audience with your body, moving your hands moderately, moving your heads moderately, making good eye contact, not looking at people as if you want to fight with them, even when the interviewer or recruiter says things that you're not comfortable with. A lot of candidates, they miss it at that point. They want to come off with their shoulder high. You just see some of them will open their
mm.
eyes to you like this, even if they've been doing well,
Uh-uh.
because yes, sometimes a recruiter can go off board. We are humans. A
Mm,
recruiter sometimes can go off board and then ask you questions you're not comfortable with, rather than say, "Oh, I really appreciate that, but I would rather feel that that is a more private question, and I would prefer we go on with this interview without me having to answer that." And you're smiling, and then some people, when you're upset, your shoulder will just come up like, "Sorry, excuse me," and then, of course, it already creates unnecessary tension in the room. So this
wow.
body language will help you, when having your next interview.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. 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 I'm sure someone is getting something already. And if you are getting something, drop it in the comment section. Let's know what you are getting. For me, it's at that point where you are being corrected. You mentioned you had to correct the guy and he kept on doing the same thing. Like, it's a red flag. If you are corrected
Exactly.
twice over an issue in an interview, man, you have lost the opportunity already. You are telling us you are not teachable. Teachability is going to be a problem for such an individual because you are being corrected for within the space of 10 minutes or even 1 hour, you are being corrected over an issue and you're going to work for years for an organization. And that is for me a very important part of this conversation right now. So thank you very much. I appreciate you. Let's quickly move on to the next question because of our time. We know some of us will be rushing to do other things because it's Friday, of course. So question four says, how can structure response how can one structure response to ensure clear and concise communication of your ideas and thoughts?
Okay. Okay, so back to what I mentioned earlier, the STAR method is very good. It is always good to, use an example whenever you're asked a question.
Hmm,
Apart from the tell me about yourself, it's always good so that you're not going overboard. Use the situation, tell us the situation. Oh, the client was angry about one of our product that we deployed that was not working. The tax. The task is resolving the client's product. The
Mm-hmm.
action is, how did I ensure to resolve the client issue? I reached out to the network engineers. Before that, I was able to pacify the client and apologize. I sent a mail. I escalated as at when due. I was communicating with the client at every phase to ensure that I update them on what we're currently doing. And then I followed up when the network issue was resolved to ensure that, oh, all necessary network issues with the client was resolved within ample time. At least I
Mm.
did post up to ensure that, oh, I did not just, at the point of the issue resolved, I just left it. I kept on following up to ensure that they were enjoying the services, and the client
Mm.
was really impressed with how I handled that situation. That is a star method. It is
Mm.
very important to always use that.
That
Sorry.
is a part. In fact, as you were just explaining, I was just like, are you sure? How many people in this country knows about the star method? Like, do people really know about this method? Because for me, it's sounding new to me, and I'm sure that people, if people know, they will have adopted the star method long time ago. Well, I think that's the essence of this conversation. Please, let's continue to drop those comments. Let's know what you are saying about the conversation so far. Remember, this is the Corporate Life Show with McAden, and with me in the house today is Victoria Erhahi, and she's a master of HR. She will help you, guide you through anything about HR, anything about job recruitment, anything about interviews that you may want to know. Please follow her on our social media platform, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, or whatever platform where you feel comfortable to reach out to her. And I'm sure she would like you to actually reach out to her on LinkedIn, that blue page. LinkedIn. Yes, yes, reach out on LinkedIn. So let's continue with the conversation so quickly. We want to move to the next question, question 5. What are some strategies for handling common interview questions, such as tell me about yourself? I think you mentioned something about that earlier. Or why
Yeah.
do you want to work for this organization? Among all the organizations, you chose to work for this organization.
Okay.
Let's
Thank you
have it.
very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so just to add a little to the star method, that the question you asked earlier, sorry, I had a little bit of a network glitch and I couldn't attend to it. Be direct to the point. Don't beat around the bush when you're told
Mm,
to a question, even while using the star method. Some people can want to
mm.
tell stories and stories and stories, and it could be tired. Be direct, straight to the point. Focus on the relevant details. Summarize your key points at the end. And now back to the question that you asked. Handling common. Tell most of the time we want you, but a lot of children, your father, village you're from, which state of origin you came from, where you were giving birth to. I have had an interview where someone almost took 10 minutes to answer this question. And I'm like, I only have just 30 minutes with you, and you've used 10 minutes to answer. Tell me about yourself. He said, my name is so, 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 and so. I am the firstborn of so, 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 so. My mother is from Ekitiku. I just told him, at first, I was like, okay, let's see where this is going. He mentioned where his father was from. He mentioned the profession of his parents. He mentioned the primary school he went to. I just said, we don't have all this, sir. At that point, he has already lost me.
Wow.
So when somebody says, tell me about yourself, tell them your name, tell them where what you studied, or your discipline. Tell them your profession. Tell them how many years experience you have in that profession, the industries you have worked in, your achievement. Case closed. Now I'm going to give an example by using myself. Assuming I'm in an interview and somebody says, Victoria, tell us about yourself. Thank you for the opportunity to be interviewed with SS Company. My name is Erhahi Victoria. I'm a graduate of University of Ibadan. And I have about 10 years experience as an HR professional. I have worked in the retail space. I've worked in the consulting space. I've worked in the oil and oil and gas industry, the downstream, and I've also been able to consult for the upstream and the midstream. During my career, I have been able to deploy all value chains of HR, end-to-end HR services. I have been able to achieve this in recruitment. I've been able to achieve that. I've been able to resolve certain issues. And with this
Mm,
strength of mine, I believe that I would be a good fit for the role. You can do that on aim at 60 seconds. No long story. And then it
mm,
is from the tell me about yourself that other questions will build. But some people want to tell us the primary school they went to. We don't need that information. Some people want to tell me I'm a single lady or I'm a married lady. We don't need that information. At the point where we
mm,
need it, we'll be the one to ask you. Some people want to tell you, oh, I am a 60 something year old man. Nobody needs that information. In fact,
mm,
starting off telling people your age, telling people your marital status can be often. So focus on
mhm.
what is needed.
Exactly.
Now they ask you, why do you want to work here? Of course, you have done your research before you got into that company. Oh, I realized that ABC company is an HR consulting company, and this would actually help me deploy my skills. Whereby I'm having several interactions with clients to bring value to the organization. You must ensure that while you're telling the recruiter about why you want to work there, you must add value. Not, I want to work here because I want to learn. Everybody, that's what we hear all the time. They'll just
Yeah.
believe that, oh, you just want to come and steal from us, Abi. So
Mm, and
while
go.
you're telling them, yes, exactly. While you're telling them, oh, I know that ABC is a consulting firm and they have interactions with clients of this. With my skills over the years, I am a good communicator. I am good with HR consulting. I would be able to deploy those skills, especially my strength, to bring about value in harnessing all of our clients' needs to meet the company's objective. Simple. Not
Mm.
I want to be here because I want to learn. It just feels like, oh, you just want to steal from us, right? So, questions like that, you just have to be very concise, intelligent about it. You don't want to be selfish. You don't want to be seen as being selfish. And you don't want to be seen as being overbearing, especially for where they say, tell me about yourself. You start telling us you're a worker in your I've seen it all. Somebody telling me I'm a worker
Mm.
in my church. Like, I don't need all that information. I don't even need the name of the church you attend. So it is important we
Wow.
provide brief professional summary highlighting our relevant experiences and skills, and of course how we can add value to the organization we intend working for.
Wow,
Thank
wow,
you.
wow. Interesting conversation so far. I was just thinking if an HR person starts creating skits, guy, you
I'm
will
telling
sell.
you,
You will
we'll have a
sell.
lot to show.
Because yeah, it's just funny relating with what you are saying is just so funny. But then I think that's the essence of this conversation. To help you out there get it right. Forget about the laughter, forget about the jesting. It's not to make fun of anyone. It's for you to be able to get it right the first time, even with your first attempt, with the information you're gathering from this conversation, and you become better at it. So thank you very much, Victoria, for doing this with us. We so
You're
much
welcome.
appreciate you. We so much appreciate you. So this is what a lot of people
Thank
would pay for, and you're getting it for free. And for free, we'll be going to the next question. Question six says, how can you use vocal influence? I mean, sorry, how can you use vocal inflection, tone, and pitch to convey enthusiasm and interest in the role and the company?
Okay, so by vocal inflection, you would mean your tone, your modulation, your pitch, and all of that. So if you see how I just said that, at some point my voice was high, at some point it was mid, and at some point it is
In
firm.
fact,
So
it was
whenever
sweeting me.
you're
For me, it was sweeting me. It was sweeting me when you were saying it. All
okay,
right, let's continue.
please, don't mess with them. Okay, so what you are going to do when you find yourself in an interview and you want to be sure of your tone, not too high, your voice pitch. You don't want to come off as if you're shouting. You don't want to come off as if your voice is too low. Now, imagine how I am talking. I have good command of my voice, and my voice is also soft. As much as it is soft, it is firm, So you want to
Mhm.
watch out for that. You also want to watch out for the tone so that you don't sound commanding, you don't sound snobbish. It's just like
Mm.
saying this same thing I'm saying, so that you don't even sound commanding. You don't sound, You see, there are two different things. You can come off
Mm.
too strong, you can come off too soft. So you want to watch it that your voice pitch is emphasizing the important point. When you want to make an emphasis, you increase your voice tone a bit. You increase it moderately and you lay emphasis on that point. Use a warm tone to convey your enthusiasm. It shows that you're excited. You need to be warm. As making each of this point, I'm also using the same example. You want to be warm with your tone, just like I'm doing now. It warms up to the employers. You have been in an interview, and then at some point the CEO is laughing. The CEO rather started laughing. Because of how warm it was, he was now tempted to say, "What position are you in your family?" And I said, "So I'm the last born." No, it was an interview, but anybody who walked in would think that, oh, maybe these two people have met themselves before. We've never met. So he warmed up to
Wow.
me and he was like, "Hey, this girl, you have sweet mouth." I said, "Sir, it's just the work." And I said, "Okay, what what position are you in your family?" And I said, "Ah, sir, I'm the last one." He said, "Hey, last ones are very lazy." Some people hearing that,
Ah!
some
No,
people
no,
hearing
no. We
that
are
should
not.
like,
We are not. I disagree.
oh,
I'm the
so I
last
have
one in
my
my family.
colleague here too.
Yes. All
Okay.
right.
So I now said, "Oh no, sir, we're not very lazy." Oh." And I said, "Ah, sir, every of my siblings that gave birth, I took care of their children." And I said, "You must be a hardworking lady." So it
Mhm.
shows I was excited that he brought up that conversation. I was not offended. So you want to avoid monotone, like your voice is one tone all through. We cannot tell whether you're excited or enthusiastic about the role. We cannot tell whether you're confident. We cannot tell anything. It's just one way straight. Speak clearly and then at
Mhm.
moderate pace. Don't speak too slowly. Don't speak too fast. Let it be moderate so that people can hear and understand what you're saying. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Thank you very much. Be moderate. Know when to raise it. Know when to
Yeah.
bring it low. But don't be too high. Don't be too low. In the middle. And last ones, we are not lazy. We are very hardworking because we will do all the washing. Talking about last one
Exactly.
not being lazy. This is not the last question, but it's the next question. That is question number 7. And question number 7 is still for you out there. Please drop a comment if you're watching us and you are enjoying the conversation. I'm sure some of us are there. You are enjoying the conversation. Don't be a ghost looker. Contribute your own quota. So, question 7 says, "What are some tips for practicing and preparing for a job interview to feel more confident and
Okay.
prepared?"
We're talking about harnessing public speaking skills. You need to
Mhm.
know that. Let's take, for example, you have a public speaking event, next week. This event that I have, as much as I have been facilitating for years now, I I know that this is different. I had to do a mock up, I had to practice,
Mhm.
okay, my body language, my facial expression, my voice tone. I have to ensure that my voice is clear enough so that when I'm speaking, people can hear me. That is how you also harness such skills while preparing for an interview. You could go online, come up with some questions. I post a lot on LinkedIn to enlighten a lot of employees, candidates, and the populace at large. And there was a time I said, sometimes if you're very intelligent, you will be able to detect the questions that an interviewer would ask.
Mm.
Now, how do I mean by that? So, some people were of the opinion or the perspective that, oh, am I trying to tell people to be lazy? I said, no. I said, if you're very intelligent, you would know the questions ahead of time. Now, how do you do that? Do you see that JD that they gave you?
Mhm.
Take that JD. Maybe they have a list of 6 or 7 tasks. Under each of the tasks, generate four questions each. There
Mm.
is no how by the time you're done with that, an interviewer will ask you one from every of those questions. And now let me use my organization, Beacon Gate, as an example. Whenever we are bidding for a contract, I and the executive director will sit down, we'll come up with several questions. We will come up with very hard questions, we'll come up with moderate questions, and then we'll find answers to it. And then you say, okay, how do you answer this? If they ask you, how do you answer? And you would prepare, you will wear the clothes you're going to wear, you prepare as if you're facing the panel already. And guess what? That has helped us to scale through many of the bidding process because we are
Mm.
always prepared. There was a time that we did such practice, and we had, like, we came up with 10 questions. I can tell you, from that 10 they asked us 6 questions, and when they
Wow.
were asking, I was just smiling because I was
Smiling.
prepared. And
The answer is out.
yes, the panelists were just nodding their head like, yes, I came prepared. But what helped us was that we prepped up, we came up with several questions.
Mm.
So when you have a job, you're going for an interview, they posted that job with a JD. Copy that JD. Say, okay, how many questions can come out of this? They are asking me, okay, I have to be good at recruitment. Of course, you will know, time to hire will come. They will
Mhm.
ask you, how have you recruited? What roles have you recruited? And they will ask you questions with regards to when you have to recruit in such a short notice. So by the time
Mm.
you do that, you come to interview prepared and you're relaxed. You're not unnecessarily tensed because you already know that you have practiced some questions. And of course, with the advent of AI, you can go to AI and generate questions. You can
Mhm.
go to Google and look up interview questions with regards to HR, business development. You can get all those questions, and it will help you. By the time you practice, you know how to get answers to the question. Research the company and the role, for goodness sake.
Mm.
Research, research, research. I was
Mm.
having an interview one time, and I asked the candidates that, okay, we're an oil and gas company, tell me what you know about oil and gas. And you will not believe what the person said. He said, oil and gas is like oil and gas, like petrol that they sell in the petrol station. I said, what? Are you serious? And this is somebody who
Oh
has five
God.
years experience. He has worked in the bank.
Oh God.
I had to cut in. I said, sorry, what did you say? He repeated it again. Like, oil is buying petrol from the petrol station.
Okay.
Honestly, I just lost it for that candidate.
So what is kerosene?
You get what is kerosene exactly? I was
Okay.
asking you, tell me what you know about the oil and gas industry. Sometimes I might not even ask you, tell me, what do you know about our company? Mm-mm. I would ask you, what do you know about this industry? What do you know about HR consulting industry? You should be able to do that research and come. Or
Mm.
sometimes, or most times, what you're asked is, tell us about our company. I had a candidate who told me once that I did not bother to check. I was angry. I was unhappy. You had
Mm.
almost 72 hours interview invite, and you came to the interview, physical interview at that, and you're telling me you did not have time. And I said, sorry, when was this interview invite sent? He
Mm.
wanted to lie, and he said the previous day. I said no. I called my team member. I said, come here. If you lie, I will give you a query. Did you send this interview invite today or when?
Mm.
The person now said, I sent it like so 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 and so day. And now opened in front of the candidate. I opened my laptop. I said, oh yeah. I told my team member, open the interview invite to this person, and I saw that it was sent to the person over 3 days ago.
Mm.
And then the person just said, oh, I just checked it this morning. And I said, really? You checked it this morning and you traveled all the way from your house to this place? That means you're lying. It shows you're
Mm.
not interested about my company.
Exactly.
Nobody will see such an attitude and will be happy. So
Mm.
ensure you research about the company, about the industry. Prepare answers for common questions. I've talked about that. Review your resume and be sure that there are no mistakes. I have seen somebody who lied, but of course now I'm too smart for that. I read in between the lines. The person lied that he worked at a particular place. And by the time I asked him one or two questions, he now said, "Oh, sorry, oh, this is not my CV. Oh, it's my twin brother's CV." I said, "Really?" I'm sure this will sound surprising to people, but that was what somebody told me, that that CV is his twin brother's own. And I said, "No, this CV cannot be your twin brother's own because for this particular job, you have applied for this job at least three different times. You applied in 2022, you applied twice in 2022, and you're also applying in 2023.
Mm.
I said, "So you cannot." He now said, "So I'll be applying all these years and you did not call me for interview." I just said this one is not serious. So it is important to conduct mock-up interviews, do research, prepare common answers to questions, review your resume to be sure that there are no errors, especially with regards to date. Don't go and say November when actually you started in January. It could mean that you're lying or unnecessarily trying to elongate the days you have worked in a company. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. It's been a conversation. Our time is fast spent. Yes, I know, I know. Just take it calm, make it. I mean, we're gonna make it faster, so that we can catch up with time. We have about three questions left, and that's why we're going straight to question eight. And please help me manage this time left for us to be able to tackle the rest of the question. Question eight says, "How can you how can you use positive self talk and affirmation to boost your confidence and self esteem before and during the interview?"
Okay. So one of the ways you can do that is positive affirmation. Talk to yourself. Even when you're having public speaking and you start jittering and you start shaking, what you need to do is to calm that adrenaline is talk to yourself. Victoria, you're good. Victoria, you've done this before. Victoria, you have 10 years experience. You've been able to recruit for A company. You've been able to recruit for B company. Calm down. You've got this. You've got this. You've got this. That's a positive affirmation. It doesn't have to be too much. Remind yourself of your past success. Use words like I am confident. I am good at my job. I am not a failure. Visualize yourself being successful in that role. Focus on your strengths. These are positive ways you can boost your confidence for any interview.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. We'll be moving straight to the next question quickly, which is question nine. Question nine says, "What are some ways to show enthusiasm and interest in the company and role without coming, without coming across and without coming across as insincere or overly aggressive?" You mentioned something of that nature earlier.
Yes. Okay. So I will quickly just give an example. I had an interview one day and the lady was rude. You answer a question and she'll be like, okay, I think I want to. I'm like, what's wrong with this one? You know, I had another interview. I was interviewing the man, and the man had about, I think, almost 30 years. Before you know, he will say something. He will answer the question, say, I know you don't even have experience in what I'm talking about, but let me just start it anyway. And I'm like, what? I don't have experience, and I'm interviewing you, and you need me to get your next job. And like, this one is not serious. So you don't want to come off as rude. Such, body language and all that. Express genuine interest for the role. I gave an example where, because of how enthusiastic I was, the man now said, which position in your family? And I said last born. So we're now joking and laughing about it. Mention what excites you about the company. Mention what excites you about the job. Be respectful and professional, regardless of what, you know, someone said. I've been in an interview where I answered a question one time. I was not sure of the answer. And guess what? They started laughing at me right to my face. But I maintained body composure. I was crying inside, but I was smiling. Guess what? I got the job.
I don't
So you
understand.
need, yeah.
this,
I
this
answered
is
a
strange.
question. Yeah. I answered a
Okay.
question. I didn't get it correctly, and because of how I answered, the recruiter could not help but laugh. It's not a good attitude, right? But I maintained composure. I was just smiling, and I ended up saying, "Oh ma, if you don't mind, can you tell me the correct answer? I would like to learn
Mm.
from you." So she told me,
Willingness to learn.
yeah. So she told me the
Mm.
correct answer, and we moved on. And I was the one who was hired. So
Mm.
avoid exaggeration or flattering. Don't come into an interview as if you're coming to look for a wife or a husband. You're flattering the interviewer so that they will like you. No, don't exaggerate.
Mm.
Recruiters, HR, we know ourselves. We know where to call ourselves. That candidate, they'll say, "Oh, she's lying." No, it's not true. So just be true and honest. So those are ways you can show enthusiasm for whatever job you are applying for.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's been a wonderful conversation, and I can say, of course, we have not wasted this 1 hour of conversation here at the Corporate Life Show with McAden. And remember, we're streaming live on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn currently, right now, as we are here looking at you, and you are looking at us. So, please, next week, same time next week, we'll be here to discuss more topics that relate to you as a professional. And this is the only platform where you get to enjoy this. But then we are just some few seconds before the end of the show. So that's why we'll be going to the last question. And so we want to use this to to rephrase, to restructure your mind so that you can have a proper structure for interview. We have said it before, but we're going to end on this note. So, question 10: how can you use again? How can you use the STAR method, like situation, task, action, and result, to structure your responses and provide specific examples of your accomplishments and experiences? In summary, so that we can wrap up the conversation.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'm going to be short because I mentioned this earlier when I started, and I'm just going to lay emphasis. The STAR method, S stands for situation, sets the context. I gave an example of a customer that was irate due to network issue. That's the situation. Tax, describe your responsibility. What are you going to do with that customer who is irate? How are you going to resolve the issue? That leads us to the next one, action. Explain what you did. Explain what you did. I repeat, explain what you did. Explaining what you did speaks to your strength. Explaining what you did speaks to the strength you have. And lastly, your strength would actually give yield to the result. Share the outcome and the impact of the results you got. So using this method, you will be able to answer question intelligently and concisely. Thank you.
All right, all right, all right. It's been a wonderful time. I'm sure we would love to have you once again because me, I've enjoyed myself. Like I've learned a lot, and I believe that audience are out there. They've also enjoyed themselves. They've learned a lot. And before we go, I have this question. To that person that came with that the funny one. You didn't know about the organization and you are applying to that organization. So, I mean, what will you do in a you are not having that conversation with anybody right now, just between us. Ignore the audience. What is the instant judgment? I mean, why will you apply to an organization for a job and you don't even know what you buy gas, you sell gas now? Abi, is that not
Abdi.
it?
So,
So quickly,
okay.
let me allow you
Well,
answer.
what I do is one of the things that have helped me during my when I'm interviewing, I tell you on the spot if you're going to get the job, if you're likely to get the job or not. I tell you on the spot feedbacks from your interview. Oh, you didn't do well in this, you didn't do well in that. So you know what to expect. I told him, I
Mm,
said, I am disappointed. I didn't wait till sending interview feedback. I told him I'm disappointed. You have 5 years experience, and this is what you come to say in an interview. And for someone who has been in the banking industry for 5 years, even if you're a
mm,
contract staff, I expect that you would
mm,
know something. I expressed my displeasure. Of course, I was not demeaning. of course, you want to tell people in a constructive way that, oh, you didn't do well with this. So one thing I have learned to do is on the spot feedback. If you're giving answers that are not right or you're over exaggerating your line, give on the spot feedback. So for such a candidate, I already gave him a feedback that said, it shows that you're not even interested in the company you're going to be, because in the interview invite we put the name of the company, and in brackets we put the website,
Hmm.
so you should go there to want to know what they are into and all that. You come in here, even a nursery school child will not tell me where they are selling petrol. So I ensured that I told him what he did wrong and how he should answer the question in case of next time. But for this role, we will not be moving on with him. So he told me thank you, that he would appreciate that if I have future opportunities, I should let him know. And then I told him thank you. So one thing that has helped me is on the spot feedback.
Wow,
Thank you.
interesting. Thank you too. We appreciate you for joining us tonight on the show. Yeah, the corporate life. I mean, it's been a wonderful conversation. It's been an enlightening conversation. It's been an interesting conversation. In fact, it's been all the good thing conversation. Anything you want to mention. The only thing that it is not gas and kerosene.
I get you. I get you.
It's not gas and kerosene. And all last months, they are hardworking. I need to take that one again.
Abby, you can say that again.
Yes, we are very hardworking because in the long run, we learn from others, from their mistakes, and we do better. And so that you too, don't
Exactly.
come and be a bad last month, and then you will not get the job. You have taken the lesson
Exactly.
from this conversation. So thank you very much. I mean, it's been a wonderful conversation with you, and I believe all our
Thank
guests,
you.
all our audience enjoyed you, and we hope to have you once again very soon. Thank you.
I do appreciate. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you, McAden. It had been a wonderful one. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, everyone. And then this is where we will draw the curtain at the Corporate Live Show with McAden today. It's been a wonderful one. Victoria Erhahi discussing how to harness the power of what? Public speaking for job interview. And I'm sure you've gotten the best. Make sure you join us same time, same place next week. Till then, have a lovely gas issue free. Yes. Bye bye.